Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be attempting to install a cup holder on the tailgate of my CRV. And I've seen a lot of people take these center consoles out of the CRVs and mount them to where they're on here and they fold down and out of the way, but also it can fold up and make a cup holder. So I'm going to disassemble the tailgate right now and get it to where I can see what's behind this as far as mounting it, because I don't want to just put it into the plastic. I'd like for it to be mounted into the metal below. So we're going to take all this apart real quick and then see where we stand. So all you need to disassemble the tailgate is just a flat blade, not flat blade, Phillips head screwdriver. There's 2 Phillips in here and some under this. So now we got the screws out. Just grab behind the edge of it, right down here, pull out on it. So what I'm going to try to do is figure out where I can get my Riv Nuts in this. And I've got to disassemble the backing off of this. You see I just washed it off because it was nasty. But I basically want to Riv nut into that metal. So let's take this off these Phillips head screws on this and move forward from there. Okay, so I got the plastic unbolted off of this, and now we can see, like, obviously this part here is not going to be able to bolt up. So what we have to do is probably drill another hole in this somewhere so we can use that hole. And the other side's flat, so it already has a couple holes we can use there. I just like to put at least two over here. So let's see, it does fit within there. It might be on the pinch weld, which is, I say pinch weld, but it's like where these spot welds are. So it may be right in that area. But as long as we can get a Riv nut in there, we'll be fine. Okay, so what I did was kind of put the plastic back on here and then pulled it back at the bottom to look to see where that metal edge was. And I kind of got my finger where the metal edge is. And you can see, like, I've got this mark here. It wasn't a mark I made, but it may be water or something, but it kind of lines up with where the edge of that metal is. So I'm gonna go off that line there and go ahead and get this thing mocked up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is use a small drill bit to go through it first to make sure that my placement's good, because I don't want to have a big hole, gaping hole that's off mark or whatever. So it'd be a little easier to conceal a small drill bit size, you know. So let's see what we can do. So you can see there my hole drilled right there on the edge, kind of exactly where I wanted it, so I can get my Riv nuts in this edge. So that I can get my Riv nuts in this edge right here. And so I need to go ahead and mark it up for the other side too, and then I think we'll be good to go. right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get those 3 mounted with Riv Nuts. I gotta drill the holes out bigger and then be able to put the Riv Nuts in. And then we'll proceed to putting the 4th bolt on the other side. So again, what I'm using for this is Riv Nuts. It's like a rivet, but it's a nut. It's got threads in it. So it uses a special tool that they thread onto the tool, and then you just basically squeeze the tool and it draws this in and makes it to where it's a nut insert basically in the metal. So I got those 3 holes drilled out now to the size that I need, and we're gonna go ahead and pop these in there. So now we have 3 nuts basically in the tailgate. So those are M6 threads, so just your average 10mm bolt. Now I know the factory piece for the console uses 12s, but I had the Riv Nuts for 10, so I used 10. So now that I've got those installed, I'm gonna go ahead and drill the holes out in my tailgate to a bigger, or my panel here to the bigger size to fit these. And then go ahead and put the plastic back on, and then we can mark or drill another bolt hole for the 4th hole. And so we don't just have 3 holding it. 3 would probably be sufficient because what it's actually holding isn't gonna be terribly heavy, but I would just like to have the 4th anchor point. All right, so after putting the plastic on, you can see it lines up, but there's a pretty good gap in there. So I'm gonna try to figure out something to space between the Riv Nut and the actual gate so that it's actually rigid mounted instead of having to be able to push it in. So let's see what we got. Okay, so I got 3 bolts in there right now. You can see it fits on there pretty well. I do want to trim this off, like with an angle grinder or something. Just, there's no point in having that on there. Put 1 more bolt like up here though, just to have a little extra support. And I still got to put my spacers behind it because I don't have the spacers on there right now. Just little, not as rigid as I'd like. It probably worked like that, but just, eh. So now we got our 4th Riv Nut in there. And then I just used, like I put the plastic up there, and then I used a gasket pick just to measure the depth of that hole, like between the panel and this panel. And then just went over to my bolt bin. I found some random stuff that, was the right width. So we got a nut, like a air box insulator, and some other nuts over here. And I just taped them on here to hold them in place until we get this mounted onto here, and then the nuts or the bolts will go through them and it'll be able to stabilize the cup holder. There it is. Yeah, I went ahead and trimmed that off too. So I just got the door or the panel back on here. I took this off to be able to, put it behind the clips in here and all that kind of stuff like it's supposed to go. You can see my little spacers are still behind there. So, yeah, I think we did good with that. Now, let's get the cup holder up here with our bolts and get them in there. I would recommend using steel nutserts. I had aluminum, but I mean, the thing's solid. So now we got it all mounted up. Just boop, doop, doop, bam. Cool. So we got all 4 of them in there now. They don't have matching hardware because it's just random hardware that I found over here in my bolt bin. But it's super solid and really happy with it. I wish it could have been more centered in this area here, but with that metal plate that it's mounted to behind it, that was the only way that we can mount it. So it's fairly level, you can see there. And went ahead and got all the screws back in here. Now I can put all the little covers and stuff back on, put my little toolkit back in there. And you know, now we can, you know, keep our favorite beverage up here, and you know, you can make you a sandwich right there, whatever you want to do while you're out camping. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much a wrap up on that. So that's a quick little project. It was pretty cheap. Already had all the stuff to do it here, so didn't cost me anything. Maybe you can run out to the junkyard and pick you up the couple pieces that you'll need, and you can do your little cheap cup holder on the back tailgate also. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button, leave me a comment below, and always, I appreciate those subscribes. Hope to see you again on another video soon. Peace.